over 7,000-mile journey across the United States that I'm taking with my 3 horses. And we are going to travel across 30 states in the period of 1 year. I guess we got a lot worse coming than that. So. All 3 of my horses are Mustangs. They were all born in the desert. Through this, my 3 horses are going to show the world that Mustangs absolutely are worth adopting, that they absolutely have a place. Well, big shout out to Mike and Carrie, guys, for helping me out the last few days and allowing these horses to get a break. We sure needed it. As Mike's unit here has this big old slab that he found with these dinosaur tracks. Says it looks like mom with her baby walking beside her. Where did you find it?
In the coal mine.
In a coal mine?
80 feet down.
Wow, that's way cool. Gonna hit the road, head up for the Miramonte Basin. We got an Eddy day and some nice cloud cover. Hopefully we get a few days in before the storms hit us. Here's the San Miguel River. Sure enough, little elk spike. Kind of a split there. A little bit brown still. It's pretty cool. Just right here next to the highway. Hey guys, we're coming into what is called the Miramonte Basin. And from here, we're coming on a road to take us east into the mountains. And we're heading into the San Juans towards Dolores. So that'll be the next couple of days. But yeah, we've got maybe an hour and a half left from today. Just looking for a place to camp with water and got a few possibilities in mind. All right, guys, I am super stoked right now because I was just stopped at this little general store here in the basin, and this the owner of the store pulled up. The store was closed, but he pulled up and I just asked if I could use their spigot to fill the bucket to give the horses water, and that's what we were doing. And then he said down the road, right in the direction I'm headed, they have a ranch with corrals and hay and water and all that, right? So he invited me to go and camp there, so that's where we're headed. So yeah, super exciting when that happens. Big burden off my shoulders for sure. All right, guys, I just corrected myself. Turns out this basin we're going through is Dry Creek Basin. Tomorrow we're going through Miramonte Basin. But yeah, we're going to stay with my man Trace, who invited us and offered us a corral and hay and a place to camp. So super excited about that. But yeah, it's been real pretty here. Riding a little later today, but it's worth it when you got a nice place to stay. Well guys, tonight we were camping in this little loafing shed thanks to Trace. Horses are over in that corral back in there. Can't see them from here. Right now I'm boiling some sweet potato, and then I'm also gonna cook some pork chops. We were starting this week off right with some pork chop and some sweet potato. Gonna go sit over here in the king seat on a tarp leaned up against the back of my saddle. Good morning, guys. It is day 31. We have officially been on the trail 1 month. So first month of the year, the Mustang down, and we are in the Dry Creek Basin, headed up to the Miramonte Basin. Looking at about a 18 to 20 mile day, somewhere in there. Yesterday, because of where we stayed, we ended up doing over 23 miles, almost 24 miles. Nice cool day again. Gonna be passing through the little bit of San Juan National Forest and passing by some ranch land. Bunch of bison. I heard about this place from a guy in church on Sunday who works here. Guess that means we're getting close to Miramonte. Couple white ones in there. is Miramani Basin. All downhill from here for the next couple of days. Mountain there's called Lone Cone. We're gonna go right down the west side of it here, and that'll probably leave most of the rest of our day here. I completely understand the purpose and usefulness of cattle guards. When you cross 20-something of them a week, to get off your horse to dig some gate out of a bit of ground or unwire a bunch of crap. It's nice when there's an actual gate to chain. Such is life. Coming into Dolores County. Okay guys, it is day 32. We are somewhere in Colorado, in the mountains somewhere, who knows. We're headed to camp in the San Juan National Forest tonight, I know that. But we got a little bit of a longer day, not too bad. Probably 20-something miles, 21. It's a bit colder today. We had crazy wind at the top of this ridge that we were on last night, but we just had to stop and make camp, so. Yeah, beautiful place. It's one of those red-faced, runny-nosed days. I guess we got a lot worse coming than that, so. Taking our lunch break, just finished mine. We take breaks about every 2 to 2.5 hours to give these guys a breather, but just also so that I can get off the horse and stretch my legs for a minute. Get my knees back in shape. That's how we manage going 7-8+ hours a day. And yeah, it's definitely hard on my body too, so making sure you take moments to get off and stretch definitely helps. Welcome to the San Juan National Forest, guys. So a lot of you guys have been asking me about my horses and to know more about them, and I would love to tell you because they're my prides and joys. And I want to start with Bella because I've had her the longest. I've had her for almost 9 years, and she's the oldest of the 3. She's coming up on 16 years old here. She is everything to me. She's my biggest teacher. She's my best friend. I love this horse. And the way I came about getting her, I was 15 years old, just turned 15. I had never owned a horse before. And Dawnette, who was my boss at Sage Creek and my coach, she had this horse that Jim, her husband, had started and then had sat around for a number of years, and she didn't have a person to work with her, someone that could have her progress. And she needed to figure out some sort of a situation for this horse going forward. And she looked over at me on the couch waiting for my next job, and she said, let's give her to Jake. Let's get him going with her. So after a long conversation with Jim, they worked it out and got me going with this horse. And that's how I got shot forward. She really brought me out into my horsemanship. I still think about those days back in 2015 in February, Jim flagging me in the round pen, me riding that horse on the halter. How a couple months ago, Dawnette was coaching me, helping me get clean flying changes on her, and how wonderful she's been, how much she's put up with me. She's been the first ride for so many beginners, so many kids, so many people. She's taken great care of over all these years. She's just such a sweetheart, and she is aptly named Belle, meaning beauty, because she has always been stunning as far as looks and just how she carries herself. She's my diamond from the Diamond Complex. She was originally born in the Diamond Complex in Nevada, outside of Eureka. So that's where she's from, that's her HMA. Yeah, me and her are partners for life. She's the horse I can trust to walk down a city sidewalk or cross a stream and not give me pedigree. And she shows these other two boys how it's done a lot of the time. And I've done everything on her. I've done dressage to first level and shown her in Western shows like The Impact of the Horse, done all sorts of things. Yeah, she's a fantastic little mare. Many people have talked to me on this trip about that horse that made the biggest impact in their life, the biggest difference. She's made me who I am today, I can easily say. Big thanks to Belle for being who she is, and even at her age, stepping out and working so hard on this trip. All right, day 33. Not too cold today, just nice and cool, little breeze. And we are headed into the San Juan National Forest towards Dolores, Colorado. So that is our day. Looking at about, another 20 miles again. A little less, more like 19. But yeah, pretty straightforward. We're just gonna follow this forest road and gonna be mostly downhill. Riding Denver today. Well, we're most of the way through the day, having to get Denver here used to being on the asphalt road with cars going by, coming at him. He's coming along pretty good. I had a cowboy named Norman offer me a place to stay, and when I got looking at it on the map with him, it turned out it was almost halfway from Dolores to Mancos, which is technically our day tomorrow. And it would be another 11 miles, and it's already 4:15, so just wasn't happening. I offered to trailer me because he had his horses there loaded up in the trailer when I ran into him again, but we got to ride the whole way, you know, we can't be trailering. And yeah, it's tough because it's heck of an offer and it makes things easier, but we'll figure it out. We'll find something. Okay guys, it is day 34 and we are in Dolores, or outside of Dolores. We came off the San Juan National Forest last night, found a lovely couple to stay with, Keith and Amy, and they were fantastic, thanks to them. And right now we are on the road headed to Mancos, and we should have another place to stay there, hopefully. And then tomorrow's our rest day. It's Saturday, so it's last day of the week. So coming out strong. Everyone's been doing good this week. Hopefully not gonna get too wet. Hopefully it'll stay dry. Just nice cool clouds. Going through the little town of Dolores, Colorado. And then we'll be on the highway to Mancos. Alright guys, it is the end of week 5. We've had a fantastic week. We have had a full day's rest here this Sunday, thanks to Patrick and Mary, who invited us to come stay at their place in Mancos, Colorado. So they've been looking after me the last day, and we've had lots of wonderful people help this week, like Amy and Keith back above Dolores, and Trace back in the Dry Creek Basin. So thank you to them and to the other people who have offered their help for the upcoming adventure. It's been really inspiring to see, and I'm feeling that Christ-like love from the people here in Colorado right now. So that's been wonderful. I got to hear back at the beginning of this week, on the morning I left Newcliff, from Mike Zunich, and he told me many wonderful stories, but he told me one specific about his grandmother and a run-in she had back in the day with Butch Cassidy. So I got to get him telling that story, which was fantastic.
Magdalena Zunic and Peter Zunic came from Croatia, and so she was running in Redville. They moved down to Redville, and Peter Zunic built a house there, which is still standing, but they had 13 kids. She would feed people coming through from all parts of everywhere, south, north, west, and they could stay overnight if they had to. And then she would give them a meal and take off. Well, what she started doing was she had a blackboard there, and she started having them write their name down. Butch Cassidy and a couple others stopped through there, and their name was on the blackboard. She didn't know that the bank and Telluride had been robbed, and so she fed them and fed their horses and let them spend the night, and they took off the next morning. And she didn't realize who Butch Cassidy was or any other thing. That's what the main part of it was. Pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.